Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Now tonight the Champions League action is underway. It's the second leg of the semi-final action between Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund are leading that tie on aggregate 2-0 at the moment, and just about less than 20 minutes to the end of the game. And well, the Joy Sports team is at the Kite has launched at Mataheko in Dansoman, where the game there's a watch party currently underway there. We're going to connect with the team pretty shortly for some update on event unfolding there. Well, just before that, though, the Bush Resource Centre's features continues because it's the whole Youth Resource Centre which has stalled over 13 million cedis debt, despite the claims by the President, Akufo-Addo, that the project has been completed. Now, the project, which was commissioned last year and used for the independence parade, has been left to rot. And according to authorities, the situation is largely because of the inability or the failure of the District Assembly Common Fund to release funds for the completion of the project. My colleague, Victor Ochitamakolo, visited the site and came through with this comprehensive report on the poor state of the whole Youth Resource Centre.
In March this year, Sports Minister Mustafa Isif suggested that the Youth Resource Centre in Ho had been completed.
The Youth Resource Centres, 6 of them have been completed. We have commissioned 1, and we are looking for His Excellency, the President, the Vice President's schedule to ensure that we commission the rest of the 5. But even last year at Dakuluho, that's where we held the Independence Day celebration. And those of you who were there, you saw how magnificent the place was. Very nice.
3 months before his speech, President Akufo-Addo, during the commissioning of a similar facility in Koforidua, listed the facility in Ho as among those completed by his government.
I'm glad to state here today that in the coming days, the following identical projects will also be commissioned and handed over for use in 1, Wa in the Upper West region, 2, Ho in the Volta region, 3, Axim in the Western region, 4, Doma in the Bono region, and 5, Dogwa on the Fin in the Central region.
The last of those, and I'm talking here about the President's speech, was on the 27th of December last year. It's been over 4 months since he said the Youth Resource Centre in Ho had been completed. But when you check out the facility, it would appear that the President had either been misinformed or he was knowingly misinforming us. Now, he's a good man, the President, and I have no reason to doubt his intentions except to say that his account of events was not consistent with the reality on the ground. This is the Youth Resource Centre here in the Volta region, Ho. Some 6 years since sod was cut for work to begin on what was supposed to be a 2.4 million Ghana cedi facility. In 2018, then Sports Minister Isaac Esiama told us that when complete, this facility was supposed to have a handball, table tennis, basketball and volleyball courts, a FIFA standard football pitch and an 8-lane athletics track. Some 6 years down the line, the facility has only seen phase 1 of projects being completed. A year ago, I joined the sports minister and a team of journalists to inspect the progress of work on this facility. That time we learned that quite a bit has changed. The sports minister told us that the initial estimate of 2.4 million Ghana cedis was only enough to cover phase 1 of the project. That was enough for us to host the Independence Day celebration. So that happened. Shortly after the Independence Day celebrations, which took place here, work stalled completely. It's been 8 months since any sort of work on this project was done. The tartan tracks have not been laid. The football pitch is only a plain surface full of weeds and not grass. The volleyball, basketball, handball courts have all not been constructed. There is no sign of when work on this project is going to resume. But what is the extent of the neglect? Left at the mercy of rainfall, humidity and sunshine, the once bright seats are beginning to discolor. If I didn't know better, I could be forgiven for mistaking these seats to be old, but they were installed a little over a year ago. Also lying unattended to is what is supposed to be the tartan tracks. What you see is just painted concrete that is beginning to develop cracks. Last month, a rainstorm decimated the main gates, parts of the roof, the glass door, and other parts of the facility. Despite being owed in excess of 13 million Ghana cedis, the contractors moved to construct a new gate for the facility. The decimated glass doors have, however, not been replaced. When I spoke to the National Youth Authority's Chief Executive Officer, Pius Ajide, he could not clarify when work on the facility would resume.
Who is still work in progress. We believe that when financial releases are made, we have spoken to the contractors, they remain committed, and they have assured us that when we settle our indebtedness to them, these outstanding issues that you are talking to can quickly be addressed. And in the specific case of Who, yes, I can admit that there are some of the other sporting facilities that have delayed.
When I reached out to the District Assembly's Common Fund for a response on this matter, its administrator, Natoshi, said they were waiting for payments from the Ministry of Finance. To quote her, she said, "Once we receive and pay districts, then we can look at all others. Our first obligation, as per the Constitution of Ghana, is the districts. After that, we can look at other obligations," she said. So it is fair to deduce from her explanation that despite the President's assurances, the Youth Resource Center was not a priority as far as the DACF was concerned. The National Youth Authority was set up in 2016 by an Act of Parliament, Act 939, I believe. Now that Act stipulates that funding, the main source of funding for the operations of the authority shall be from the District Assembly's Common Fund, up to 5% of that. Beyond that, the other sources of income for the authority are funds that are approved by Parliament itself, return on investments made by the authority itself, grants and donations, or other monies that may be approved by the Finance Minister. So it's hard to imagine where money will come from for the NYA to be able to complete the projects, given the inertia of the DACF. For now, though, the NYA has no choice but to play the waiting game. In
the formula that Parliament approves, and in the wisdom of the administration of the DACF, alternative arrangements have been made, and those have been approved by Parliament according to the disbursement formula as approved by Parliament. Regrettably, however, from December of 2022, the last quarter of 2022, up till now, the National Youth Authority is yet to receive any of its quarterly allocations. The DACF itself is also in arrears, that it is yet to receive funding. When the project was progressing steadily, the NYA started engaging private entities over possibly leasing the managing rights of the assets to them. That, like construction works on the facility, has stopped. Yes, we have started the processes. We have advertised because we have to go through the public procurement method. Aren't you getting ahead of yourself? The facilities are not ready, and you're that's why we have had to pull the brakes on the on that exercise. Okay. But we were hoping to walk and chew gum at the same time. We were hopeful that funding was going to be timely and enough, and that we were going to be able to complete on schedule. But we didn't want to complete and then take yet another long time to look for competitive and competent facility managers. So we thought that we could walk and chew gum at the same time. 4 months before this interview with Pius, the President had given assurances that monies will be made available for these projects to be completed.
I've been informed about the challenges facing the remaining 4 stadium with auxiliary facilities. Kalechi in the Greater Accra region, Navrongo in the Upper East region, Yendi in the Northern region, and Yurihini in the Ashanti region. I have prioritized the completion of these facilities and therefore requesting the Minister of Finance and the District Assembly Common Fund to allocate the necessary funds to the National Youth Authority in accordance with Act 939 to ensure the timely completion of these legacy projects.
Yet, here we are with the facilities wasting away 6 years and 177 million cedis later. In the case of Ho, there is a small matter of a 13 million cedi debt waiting to be cleared before work resumes.
We have had conversations with the management of the DACF. We are also speaking to the Minister of Finance. We are very assured that very soon releases will be made to us. The total cost of the projects, the 10 projects, are around 342 million.
342 million.
For the 10 projects. We have made payments of around 177 million, which means that there is an outstanding of around 165 million to complete the facilities.
There's no telling when work will resume on this project, when the Sports Ministry will be able to persuade the contractor, Akufo-Addo Construction, to move equipment and staff back onto site and to finish what they started. But what we do know is that the facility is wasting away. For Joy Sports, Victor Achutamaklo.
Well, that's a very comprehensive report there by Victor Achutamaklo. Well, the game between Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund, just some few minutes to the end of that game. And like I mentioned to you earlier, there's a watch party underway at the Kites Lounge and Mataheko in Danso. And my colleague Victor Achutamaklo is the man on the grounds with Muftar Nabila and some other Joy Sports team members over there. Achu, if you can hear me, just bring us up to speed on what's been happening in that crucial semi-final game, and also tell us.
Welcome to in Mataheko, where the Joy FM and HFM sports teams are bringing you the live broadcast of the UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg tie between Borussia Dortmund. We'll travel to the city of light and love, Paris, to take on Paris Saint-Germain. We're almost about ending the game. It's Dortmund who lead by a goal to nil. The goal was scored just after restart by Max Hummels. Now, it's not just about the team that is here. People are here to have fun. We'll take you to hear from some of them who will share their experience so far with the Joy Sports and the HFM team. Come with me and a few of the fans here. Good evening and welcome to Joy News and on the Joy Prime channel as well. Tell us your name, your experience of the game so far.
Experience so far of the game has been very great. I've enjoyed coming out here to come and watch it with you guys. And Dortmund are putting a very good fight, you know. And I also love the story of an underdog. So if they are winning, I think.
He just got to all the fans of Borussia Dortmund and, of course, the entirety of Germany there. Borussia Dortmund just qualified to the finals of the Champions League, defeating Paris Saint-Germain 2-0 on aggregate there. And they'll be waiting for the winner between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. The final is going to be taking place on the 1st of June at the at the Wembley Stadium. And, of course, Aviation Social Centre has to do with the Hit FM Repio jersey, which will be happening on the 1st of June. And the entire Joy Sports team is going to be there. So you want to join the entire sports festival there as we all watch that final between Borussia Dortmund and either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid over there. So the jubilation is on the stadium, and Borussia Dortmund players and, of course, Paris Saint-Germain just looking dejected. Kylian Mbappe playing his last game at Paris Saint-Germain and losing in the semi-finals of the competition. So that's the update. Of course, we'll bring you more of that in our subsequent bulletins come tomorrow. But that's all we got for you on Prime Source tonight with me, Razak Musbao. Tomorrow we're going to be at the Heritage Brewery Craft for the game between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Hopefully we'll have a great time there. Thank you for being part of it.